Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We are coming to you this week from Interop in New York, 2011. On our program is Jake Lifshits, the customer advocate at Zinstall. Jake, welcome to our show.
Thanks, Rich. Pleased to be here.
Likewise. So tell me a little bit about Zinstall. What do you guys do?
Well, we're here presenting our latest and newest product. It's called Zero2. Stands for Zero Virtualization. And it's a brand new way to do desktop virtualization. We hope it will change the market.
Okay. How is it new?
Well, in a typical virtualization environment like VDI, solutions by VMware, by Citrix, what you do is you first start with a server farm. You need a large amount of servers, for one for each, let's say 30 or 50 users. It costs to buy them, to keep them. It costs more to run Windows on them. We remove all that stuff. We do it completely different from the technological standpoint. And the reason for this is that the virtualization market itself, the technology, the history of it was starting on the server side, on server virtualization, which is pretty figured out now. But right now, these companies are trying to stretch that same technology to the client side, and that's where the problems begin.
Okay, so you're telling us what you're not doing, but what are you doing?
What we are doing is we are running environments for user environments with applications and settings and files which are stored centrally on a centralized storage. We run them on the endpoints, on the laptop, on the desktop that you log in from. So what you get actually is that all your stuff is stored centrally in a secure location, and you can log in from anywhere to the same environment, but you're not constrained by virtualization. You don't have to pay too much for this, and the experience for you as a user is the same as before.
Okay, so the benefit, so the experience is the same.
Right.
The benefit of having a virtualized desktop is that I can take a tablet, for example, and then I could use the tablet to run my virtualized desktop experience. Can I do that with your system also?
You can do that, but then you would still need to revert back to the old way of doing things. Because for a tablet, it does not have too much resources, very small amount of memory. And if you try to run a normal application, like say Photoshop on an iPad, you run into trouble.
So your solution works when we have PC-based desktops?
It works on Mac as well.
Okay, so when you have the horsepower at the desktop, when you have the horsepower at the desktop, your point is that we'll take the best of virtualization by centralizing a lot of the things that we're going to centralize, that you can centralize, but as opposed to a traditional virtualized desktop where you waste a lot of the CPU, you're going to take advantage of that CPU and processing power.
Exactly.
So you minimize the amount of money that you need to spend on license fees, and you probably minimize the amount of money that you need on hardware in the server room, and you take advantage of what you have on the desktop. But the downside, the flexibility is the downside, because if you're migrating to tablets that don't have the horsepower, then you have a challenge. But nowadays, tablets are getting more powerful.
Exactly, and we are already doing a few projects for several clients that are running tablets that are powerful enough to run their applications, and that's really the question of that.
Sure.
And in a year, you'll have tablets that are as powerful as computers today.
Right. We have dual core. I mean, right, the smart.
I have dual core in my phone.
Right. I was going to say there are some dual core, and even the iPhones now have dual core for a few $100s.
Exactly.
Was it the 4S? So is dual core for $299.
As tablet market continues to grow, we'll get there as well.
Okay. So it's really a lower cost way of doing things, and I guess there's some more flexibility as well in some ways.
A lot of ways, because for IT, for the management of this whole solution, you're working with clean environments, cleanly separated stuff that you can, for example, you can patch the OS itself. You don't have to involve the other parts of the environment. It's easier to manage, but that's something you get at VDI as well. In our case, it's just cheaper, and you don't have to retrain. Works the same way.
Okay, so now what are customers saying about this?
Google Zero2, and you'll see. Well, they are thrilled about it. It's really a new way of doing things. We call it Type 0 hypervisor. So there is Type 2 and Type 1. It's a new one. And this is completely new technology. The customers are thrilled about it. Analysts are thrilled about
Great.
it. But we'll see how it goes, you know.
So what's next for the company?
Bringing the solution to as many customers as possible. We have launched it just recently, and we're already getting very good traction.
Great. Jake, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Rich.